Hiking is fun. To hike is fun. Hike is fun. Hello everyone, my name is Ehab and this is English with Ehab, where we talk about English, we practice it, and hopefully by the end of the lesson we learn something about it. Now, today's lesson is going to be gerunds and infinitives. A couple other lessons I've done previously, I talked about gerunds and infinitives, but I've actually not given a lesson on either one. Keep in mind, what I do today is just going to be something very, very basic. Because with gerunds and infinitives, I really can spend months talking about this grammar topic. So I will show you examples of how we use both gerunds and infinitives. Basically what they are, it is the ing verb and to plus base form of the verb. And both of them act like nouns. They're really acting like nouns. And they were representing an entire activity. Now, you can use both of them as the subject of the sentence, or you guys can use them as the object of the sentence. A good part of what I'm going to talk about today is going to be the object, because the object have to usually come after certain verbs. So some verbs, you can use gerunds. Other verbs, you can use infinitives. We have some verbs where you can use both gerunds or infinitives, and there's really no difference in meaning. So that's basically what my focus is going to be on today, the objects. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get to the board. Okay, so let's take a look at the board and the examples that I have here. Remember, gerund is basically an ing verb, but it is acting like a noun. All right, the verb, there's some sort of action going on. That's not the case with a gerund. Now, we can use the gerund as a subject of a sentence. For example, going to the beach is fun. Seeing friends makes me happy. Now, in both of these examples, if you guys notice, the gerund comes before a verb. Okay? It can really come before any verb. All right? Because it is the beginning of that sentence. And again, there's no action here. We're talking about an idea of going to the beach, an idea of seeing your friends. Object is where it gets a little bit tricky, because now you really need to focus on the verb. So these are common verbs which are followed by gerunds. But keep in mind, guys, these are not all of them. The list is very, very long. Again, I can spend months on this particular topic. But we have verbs like enjoy, delay, think about, miss. Any one of those verbs, if you were going to use a verb after, it needs to be a gerund. For example, I enjoy camping. You need to use an ing gerund. Again, I can't say I enjoy camp. No good. I cannot say I enjoy to camp. You have to say camping. Tom delays doing house chores. Again, we cannot say Tom delays do or to do. You have to say doing. Also, keep in mind, it does not matter what tense these verbs are in. I enjoyed camping. Same thing. I will enjoy camping. Same thing. So the tense here doesn't matter. All right? Still followed by a gerund. Now, keep in mind, just because we see an ing verb, it does not mean that it is a gerund. For example, I'm working right now. This is not a gerund. This is an action. I am working, it's present progressive or present continuous, which means right now. I took a cooking class last week. That is not a gerund. That is really an adjective. And we are describing what kind of class it is. Okay, let's go ahead and get to another example, some more examples that I'm going to put on the board. The next examples are going to have to do with infinitives. Okay, so the following examples that I have on the board have to do with infinitives. Now, remember, infinitive is basically to plus base form. When I say base form, it means you don't make any changes to the verb. It doesn't matter what the subject is. And again, it acts like a noun. It's exactly like the gerund, but it's just a different way to say and write it. So again, it can be the subject. To play basketball is fun. Working all day makes me tired. And again, it's the same thing as saying to work all day makes me tired. It's the same thing here. Playing basketball is fun. So when we talk about subjects, it does not matter. You guys can use an infinitive. You guys can use a gerund. It's okay. It's again the object, because the object you really need to focus on the verb. So these are some common verbs which are followed by infinitives. Okay? These are not all of them. Again, the list is very long, but these are common ones. Need, want, decide, intend. If you notice these verbs here, it does not matter if it's in the present, in the past, in the future. If you are going to follow it with another verb, it must be an infinitive. For example, Lisa needs to buy a car. Again, it is incorrect to say Lisa needs buy a car. Can't say that. Lisa needs buying a car. Can't say that either. Again, if I make this past tense, okay, then it's the same idea, same rule. They wanted to travel. I intend to call my friend. Again, it's incorrect. They wanted traveling. No, to travel. I intend calling. No, I intend to call my friend. Okay, let's get to some more example. There's another group of verbs, only for the objects, where you guys can either use gerund or infinitive, and the meaning is going to be the same. So let's get to the next examples. Okay, on the board right behind me are some verbs. There's not too many, but these particular verbs, you guys can use gerunds or infinitives as the objects of a sentence, and there's no difference in meaning. So today's lesson, most of the time I've been focusing on the objects, because in the subject you guys can really use an infinitive or a gerund, and there's no difference in meaning, and you can really use it at any time. It really doesn't matter what verb comes after. Object is different. So these are some examples here. Okay, for example, the verb like or love. Lisa likes shopping, or Lisa likes to shop. You guys can say both of them, and there's no difference in the meaning. They hate or can't stand. If you can't stand something, it means you don't really like it. So it's really kind of the same as hate. So they hate waking up early, or they hate to wake up early. No difference in the meaning. I start working, or I start to work at 9 a.m. You can also use the verb begin. I begin working at 9 a.m. or I begin to work at 9 a.m. No difference in meaning. Same thing. I prefer. When you say I prefer, it means you like something more than something else. So I prefer seeing my friends. I prefer to see my friends. No difference. The last one is continue. I continue reading at night, or I continue to read. at night. Again, no difference. No difference in meanings. Now, there's another group of verbs where you guys can use a gerund or you can use an infinitive, but there is a big difference in the meaning. And I'm probably going to do that in another video because, again, today I really just want to focus on the basics. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the conclusion and see what we've learned. Okay, so we finally made it to the conclusion. On the board behind me are just 5 sentences. And again, if we can complete these sentences with either a gerund or infinitive, then maybe we are going to have some understanding about this particular grammar. Again, this is not the most detailed lesson, but it is a basic lesson and it will give you a good foundation for gerunds and infinitives. So, on the board are 5 sentences. Each one has a verb. And we basically have 2 choices when we complete these sentences with these verbs. We're either going to use a gerund, which is the ing verb, or we are going to use an infinitive. So let's go ahead and take it one by one. Number 1, they need blank at night. Do I put gerund or infinitive? Should be infinitive. They need to study at night. Why? Because of the verb need. Again, this is where your focus should be if we are using this grammar at the end of sentences. Gotta focus here on this verb because that's what the rule is. It's all memorization. Lisa enjoyed. Remember, it does not matter if it's in the past or future or present. Doesn't matter. The rule still applies. Lisa enjoyed blank a movie last night. Gerund or infinitive? Should be gerund. Lisa enjoyed watching a movie last night. And again, because of the verb enjoy. Number 3, the school delays blank homework on holidays. Delays should be giving. Gotta have a gerund after the verb delays. Number 4, Tom likes blank at the beach. Is it gerund or is it infinitive? It's both. This was basically from the last group of verbs which we talked about. Remember, there are some verbs where you guys can either use a gerund or infinitive and there's no difference in meaning. So, Tom likes surfing at the beach or to surf at the beach. No difference in meaning. They will start blank the subway next week. Start is the same thing. You guys can use a gerund, you guys can use an infinitive, no difference in meaning. They will start taking. I can also say they will start to take the subway next week. Both of them, same meaning, same 2 options. I hope you guys learned something today. This is a grammar, again, where I can spend a lot more time, and I will possibly do some videos in the future with more examples, because again, today I just wanted to give you the basics. Please like and subscribe if you can. They help out the channel tremendously. And until next time, keep speaking English. Bye-bye.